Hello guys, today we'll compare eToro and Robinhood. Both are brokers for the retail investors. Robinhood is dominating in US and they started to operate in UK as well. And eToro is 100 plus countries broker, which is not dominating in US, of course, but they are operating here as well, but they are kind of limited. The eToro had IPO not so long time ago, and they're performing very badly from the point of view of pricing, and they are maybe undervalued, but we need to take a look a little bit deeper into that. Both of these brokerages mostly earning money from the transactions, and both of these companies are providing credit cards as well. So let's take a look a little bit deeper into both companies and decide which is better investment. Let's go through it and check out which company has a greater potential. So how they are similar? Both of them are having zero commission, both democratize investing with zero commission on stock and ETF trades, removing the barrier entry for small accounts. They both has fractional shares. You can start investing from $1 only. They both has the biggest accessible stocks. Number 3 is user experience. Both prioritize model first, clean interfaces designed for beginners. For they achieve this differently. Robinhood is minimalistic, eToro is visual and social so much here. And number 4 is that also both are providing cash interest, like Robinhood via its gold subscription paying 4.5% API, and eToro via its tired eToro Club program. The more you invest in eToro, the more benefits you have. So let's find out how they differ as well. So for the number 1 point, I called it solo for Robinhood and copy trading for eToro. So Robinhood is a solitary experience. You make your own decisions with a social feed or copy button. So number 1 on eToro is copy trading. It is basically a deal breaker on eToro. Everyone is choosing probably because of this feature as well. And maybe it's not the only one feature, but it's a big one. Yeah, that you can just copy the traders and investors and get the same profits and losses, of course, as these investors too. Yeah. They have different product ranges. For example, Robinhood dominates in the US. They provide also option trading and retirement accounts, IRAs. And eToro actually provided RIA in UK as well, and they also offer CFDs, which are not allowed probably in US, and Forex trading. Number 3 is that Robinhood is dominating in US definitely, and they just recently started their activity in UK too. And point number 3 for eToro, the main benefit is that it is in 100 plus countries. It is available in the United States as well with some limitations. First of all, they don't have CFD trading. And the main benefit for eToro is that they're available in 100 plus countries. They also are available in the US, but they don't have CFD trading. But of course, the benefit of Robinhood is that the pricing power in US is much higher than in the other countries. But comparing to 100 plus countries is still fading, I think. Yeah. And number 4, that Robinhood focuses on self-direct tools like advanced charts and screening. Same has the eToro, but they struggle with integration a little bit. So they have trading view charts, but it doesn't work perfect, in my opinion, as I'm a user of eToro, so I can tell that definitely. Yeah. And eToro has the smart portfolios you can invest in, and they are chosen by AI. So this is a really nice feature as well, I think. If we compare financials, we definitely see that Robinhood is much bigger, but the con of that is that the growth potential in the future can slow down, in my opinion. And eToro is still pretty small company which can grow much faster. So let's compare the market capitalization. Robinhood is $68 billion and eToro is only 2 and 3 billion USD. So the potential growth is much higher here than in Robinhood. Only if Robinhood start to expand to the different countries everywhere pretty fast, then definitely they have huge potential yet. If we'll take a look into the revenue growth, yearly it was 50% for the Robinhood in 2025, and last quarter was 26%. And eToro still didn't report last quarter, but expectation is about 27%, so a little bit higher than the revenue in last quarter, but overall growth is a little bit slower yet. But they just had the IPO, and they probably will start invest into the growth more. If we will take a look into the net income, we see that the numbers differs a lot. Yeah, for example, numbers for yearly, it's 33% growth. It's almost 1.9 billion. eToro cannot dream about these numbers even, but still they're growing pretty fast. Last year was really good for them. And for the quarterly, we see that comparing to the Q4 before, year before, we see that they has smaller net income. If we will take a look to the eToro, the growth is 47%, but it doesn't mean that it will be same next quarter too, because as I mentioned, quarter 4 wasn't announced yet. For the free cash flow, we see that Robinhood is negative, and this is a big no for me. And the last quarter, it was improved a bit, but it's still negative. And free cash flow for eToro is 81% yearly growth, but last quarter was minus 35 millions, but still they will end the year free cash flow positive, what is much better than in Robinhood, in my opinion. If we'll take a look into valuation, we see that Robinhood is 36, but we need to understand that Robinhood still is growing faster, but eToro is only 12. This is a really great number, and forward PE for both is much better, to be honest. But eToro is, I saw some resources, it's between 10 and 12, and Robinhood is 26 for this growth. It's still great, I think. As I mentioned, price to free cash flow, negative. It cannot be calculated here, and this is really great for eToro. It's only about 10, yeah. Gross margin is very similar. eToro is better, but we see that the Robinhood is more effective with the profit margin. And eToro is still good. 22 is really good. So if we will dive into expectations of growth the next year, we see that Robinhood grows still faster, but Robinhood is much more overvalued comparing to the eToro. eToro growth in revenue is slower, but they are concentrating more on EPS, and we see they plan to have 22.5% EPS growth, which is much more valuable for me than the revenue, to be honest. And EPS for Robinhood is slower here. We see that these companies has different goals here, and they have different strategy of growth. Like eToro is concentrating more on EPS and Robinhood on revenue, and most of the companies, growth companies in US, are concentrating on the revenue. Like eToro is Tel Aviv company, so they have probably different strategy, more like European companies, I would say. So for me, neither eToro, neither Robinhood is a buy now. Robinhood is a bit overvalued in my opinion, and eToro just had the IPO. So from eToro, I want to see one more quarter report at least, just to see where are they going and how are they doing, basically. Yeah, maybe they will not be justifying their earnings at all, what they're predicting. And for Robinhood, I like the company a lot, but I still think that they need to go lower. Definitely both stocks has great potential, but what do you think? How these stocks will perform? Will you choose eToro or Robinhood?